This Dysfunctional Gaming podcast was filmed in front of a live Twitch audience. What's happening? Welcome to Dysfunctional Gaming's Talking D&D. This is episode 9. We are talking multiclassing. I am Thundercat0420. To my left is GM Patch Nasty.
It's very awkward when you point that way, and then I know you're pointing over there, but it's the, what up? It's confusing, but hi, how are you?
Hey, Umlaut, how are you? So, this week, because we missed last week, we talked a little bit about changing things up a little bit this week to kind of grasp what we want to do as a podcast. So, we decided to make this one more of a in-depth look into our topic, rather than an overarching, using that topic as an overarching thing to get to the end of the podcast. Mm-hmm. So what we're going to do is we're going to really just get into the bare bones of multiclassing today. We're going to really just tell you what we think is fun to play. We're going to tell you what the way to actually do it. And we're going to tell you, we're going to try to work it into our story still. We're still doing that creation zone in the story mode, but instead of doing lore on something that's kind of in that same vein, we're gonna go with more learning based stuff for players.
Don't get me wrong, if you are going to multiclass, there is always the just multiclassing for min-maxing, or there's also thematic, like you've grown with a party member and then you want to get into that classmates, like if you've seen Critical Role, how there's the Arcane Trickster, and then you have Cable. Oh, hi, Wing.
Hi, Wing. Yeah, so, we're going to try to make sure that you get a whole roundabout idea of how multiclassing works, and how we can use it, and how you can use it to have fun in a game, or min-max it if you want. We'll talk about that, too. That's fine. And just, let us know if you have questions, because we're going to try to be a little bit more chat-oriented with the questions now. So
yay! Okay, I can read the chat. It's amazing now.
Yes, I don't want it to just be about the podcast. I want it to be about the people that come in and want to learn about the game. So it's also going to be in podcast form. We'll just keep that tag on it that says this was filmed in front of a Twitch audience, so our chat will know that we're keeping up with them, and if they have questions, we can get right to it. So, Patch, why don't you give us a little something about multiclassing that you want to talk about to start?
Yes, I'm GM. Stands for Great Multiclasser. I like to multiclass simply because it is one of the coolest things you can do, because then you can double dip. Like, you could be the swole wizard. You can be that barbarian wizard and cast fist. You could be that barbarian, that, the big axe-toting wielder of death who viciously mocks you.
And then when he turns the axe around, and it's a loot.
Yeah, it's literally an axe.
Yeah.
Wow. Whack.
Yep.
El Kabunk, if you will. But no, it's always if I'm going to put this in the most cliche way I know, if you're ever trying to stat a real life, let's say we're going to stat Captain America in D&D, he is certainly multiclass. There is no doubt in my mind that man is a fighter, and he's at least got a few levels in monk and maybe paladin if I was putting it into. And then you could also go with Batman. Batman is the perfect rogue barbarian. He is master of the shadows, but when you get up and tussle with him, and he can take a beating and kind of still keep kicking.
Yep.
Multiclassing is a bunch of fun. It also helps characters kind of grow together when you do it thematically, because you can spin it like, let's say you're a bard and your closest person, the rogue, you see him kind of like always gets in real close and does that lethal damage, and you're, hey, I want to do that. How do you do that? Oh, that's how you do that. But there's more in complications to it, because you have to hit certain bars to be in that class, which is all of them are 13. If you have a 13 in the base class stat, like if you wanted to multi-class into a wizard, you would have to have at least a 13 intelligence. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. Some classes are different, like the monk, for example, have 2 prerequisites. You have to have a 13 in dex and wisdom. So you have to have the basis to become that. That's the different thing from being a starting character with just one class to multi-class. It shows your versatility in your stats. So, looking it up.
No, I just wanted to get to I wanted to get to the page. I know if you're thinking about multiclassing and you have your player's handbook, it's on page 163.
It's not long. It's really rather short.
It's a page and a half or so. 2 full pages, well, 1 full page and a half. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I never really multiclassed in any of my games that I've been a player in. There was just that one time I was Melissa Jeff Ton Drath Pact bot. So
yeah.
that they were kind of just all over the place. So that's where I was using my multi-class. So from like my point of view is I don't really understand it as well as you do, because you've done it a lot more than I have. Mm-hmm. Now, what's a good level to start thinking about multiclassing? Should you do it right after first? I mean, you could do it early. If you do it early, it's probably not as bad.
There are two classes of thought to when I go into multiclassing. One, have I gotten something cool from the class, like the level 3, the level 4 where the ability score, the level 5 where is normally your extra attack. That's typically where I'll go off, like level 6. If you want to do level 1 and everything, sure, you can do that. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be funny, but it's gonna be rough. Honestly, only multiclass in if you're gonna be 2 spellcasters. Like if you want to be a wizard and a cleric, be very, very familiar with your spells, because it gets really, really intricate. The opposite side of thinking is what do you want to lose out on at the very end? Like, because I'll talk a little bit about it in our backstory, but when I was making Barondir before I knew he was going to die, I was like, what don't I want to get from the monk class? Because I want to be able to turn to a spider and punch dudes all the time as a spider, because that seems funny to me, because you don't know if I'm punching or kicking you.
Right.
But what didn't I want to get from being a level 20 monk, being a level 19 monk? Always look at late game and what you're losing out on, as opposed to what you get in the shorthand. Because a level 20 druid is basically unkillable unless you use power word kill on it, and that's typically late game stuff. But that's the way to look at it. If you want, it can be min-maxing if you're just trying to go for the weirdest, coolest build and have those synergies, or if you're looking for thematics, it's pretty cool. Like if you have a bard that sold their soul to the devil, give them a level in warlock.
Right.
Why not? But you just talk it out with the player. See if they're cool with being a pact of the fiend warlock, and that would be a route they could take. Sure. I like multiclassing a lot.
Now that I guess that brings me to the next thing would be, like, when it comes down to what's the like maximum things you can do as a multi-classed character.
What do you mean?
Like you only get to use that level that you multi-class into, right?
Right. So yeah. So let's say you are let's say 5th level rogue. Neat. You wanted to take a dip into fighter. I think you don't really get anything at 1st level. You get a fighting style, which can be super beneficial as a rogue, having one-hand fighting or off-hand fighting, something like that. And then having that action surge at 2 is super beneficial.
Right.
Or if you're a paladin with high strength, you could be a barbarian and get that 1st level unarmored defense. I think that's 1st level
rage.
and rage, but it depends if you use your spells to like concentrate on them.
Could you use now paladin with a barbarian? Could you use the rage and then use your smites because you're expending a spell slot to hit, not to use as a spell?
I would allow it because you're expending a spell slot while you're making a melee attack. So
you're not
absolutely.
You're not using the spell as a spell slot. A spell slot as a spell.
And then on the flip side, for when we would do a DM week, that you're spending your resources. Yes, please spend as many of them as you would like.
It's just that would be cool if you crit. You could get all that extra stuff.
I mean, because you already get the extra range damage,
and then you just get up to reckless attack, and then you just reckless attack all the time with 4th level smites.
Yeah, think about being like a high level paladin with like a 3 level dip into barbarian and just going Path of the Bear, and you're just resistant to all damage except for psychic. You're a mean bad Larry. I didn't want to swear, so
a mean bad Larry. Okay, now how do you let's get to the question of how do you multi-class? Like, how do you get to that point? You have to level up.
You have to level up. You have to have the level to get to. So let's say you're level 5 and you're turning level 6. You would need. Then you would dip into that 1st level, and if you wanted to level up after that, you would need enough XP to get to level 7 total. And then you can pick which one you want to level up, and that's how that would work. It's just like if you went from level 1 to level 2, you could have it be multi-class at that. I wouldn't do it. No, I wouldn't recommend it at all. It's very, very risky, but sure.
What is he talking about?
There, I don't know.
What are you talking about, DD? I have to look at the Discord now.
You keep looking at it. But it's your overall player level XP to level up either class when you start multi-classing. And then your proficiency is based off of your total level. Same with your hit dice. Those are your pool of hit dice. So let's say if you're a paladin fighter, you have X amount of D10s because they're the same. Thank you. And then for your hit dice, let's say if they're like D6s and D8s, you would have X amount of D6s for your levels in Wizard, and then X amount of D8s for... Absolutely. See, that's the barbed wire baseball bat he was coming in, just raking it across the face, just But it's tricky. It's not recommended for those who are first starting out and new to the game. If you start to get a grasp at it, please, I would certainly recommend looking into it. Don't commit fully. But if you want to try it, it's hard.
And always talk to your DM.
Yep.
Your DM might want you to stay in your class for a little while because he or she wrote something in for you that kind of goes with your background. And it's like, hey, why don't you stick with it for a bit, and we'll after this next round of levels, you could do it. Because that's happened to me.
You should always ask your DM about multiclassing when you're starting your campaign, because think about it this way. Let's say you're a fighter, and then you have a high enough charisma to be a warlock. Thematically, that doesn't fit my story, and now you've handed me a loaded weapon. You're a patron to something that you don't know. It gave you power. Okay, sure. I now have something to write about, but bang. But always ask. It's courtesy, but good DMs will also say at the beginning of their session, hey, I don't want to have people multiclassing, or if you are going to multiclass, I would like it to be thematically.
Right. All right. So you just talked about the hit dice.
Talked about the hit dice. I talked about...
What about proficiency bonus?
Proficiency bonus falls into those. It's overall character level. So if you are overall a level 4 fighter, a level 2 barbarian, you're level 6. Your proficiency bonus is a 6. It's whatever you would be at level 6.
Whatever your level is, basically.
Thank you. I think it's +3.
And then what about like the proficiencies that you gain from different
Think
classes?
about it this way. So when you see your Rocky montages, he's a boxer, so you see him do kind of all boxing training. Let's say he was trying to do something else and train, like how to swing a bat and learn how to play baseball. He wouldn't be that good, but he would learn. So you'd get a watered down set. I don't believe any of them give you the tool proficiencies. It's basically armor or weapons or shields. And some of them have connotations because if you're a druid, druids don't use metal. Get over it. Hashtag monk druids for the win.
Okay, so then there's some specific things that happen with your like class features.
Umlaut brought something. The multiclassing into a rogue gives you thieves tools, right? I think that is also a tricky one.
Yes,
because
it gives you proficiency in thieves tools. Yep, you get light armor, 1 skill from the class skill list, and the thieves tools. But what about like class features now?
Class features like
channel divinity.
That you get the total from your level, but it's also you have to pick which ones you can use. So if you're a cleric and a paladin, you can only use your paladin one, or you can only use your cleric one. If you can only do it once a day. If you can do it twice a day, then you can pick which one you can do, and then you can do those. It's kind of easy like that one for that one. And then extra attack works the same way. Some classes will let you have an extra attack, but the only one that breaks this is the fighter. So if you dip into fighter, you could possibly have 4 attacks. Everything else just gives you a second one. So if you were to barbarian monk, both get the extra attack, but you can only hit twice.
Yeah, you only get to use the extra attack the one time.
Correct. They do not stack. Same with unarmored defense. They do not stack. You only get the benefits of 1.
But it might be worth it. Depending on how your character is set up beforehand.
Right, but ones that have
switch to the other one is what I mean. Like if you're a monk and a barbarian, your unarmored defense might be better because have a better strength or whatever. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing with the glorious thing of I believe about no monks is it's Dex plus wisdom for their unarmored defense.
Right.
If I remember correctly. And then the barbarian is strength plus constitution.
I think so, yes.
Yeah, if I played both of those classes, yes. And I think those are the ones that get armor or defense. So it's...
But you might have more of a strong monk at that point.
Think about it.
You never know.
You really wouldn't have a lot of... It depends on what you're doing for stats. If you roll for stats,
yeah,
absolutely. If you're using standard array, you're probably going to have some lower stats.
Hi, Fuzzrab. How are you tonight?
Oh, there's the Fuzzy. Someone shout out Fuzzrab. He streams. He's got stuff. He was playing South Park at one point.
We could shout out all of our friends in here.
Yeah. Well, DD was here. He's a mod.
I know. He is a mod. Hopefully he's still here.
No, he said his swear and he's out.
Yeah. Hey, there he is. What a good guy. Love that man.
And if I remember correctly, if I'm going down that whole page because I just recently read it, that's where it starts to get weird because we're into my vocab for the week. Spellcasting.
Oh yeah, the multiclass spellcasting is a pain. It looks like
it is the worst. So
it's very intricate and convoluted.
It is. The trick is, most of your spellcasting classes are one single spellcasting. Warlocks are different because they do not have the spellcasting ability. They are pact magic. I'll talk about that in a second. So how it works, you take your base level in either, it's Bard, Druid, Paladin, Cleric, or Wizard. Did I miss any?
I
I'm pretty sure those are the...
I think that's it.
That's it. And then you would take, if you were to go into Ranger or... No, Paladin's the one that's not in there. It's Cleric. If you go into Ranger or Paladin, it's half that level rounded down. So if you're level 2, you're level 1. And then it's a third of your fighter if you have the Arcane Knight or the Eldritch Knight, and a third of your rogue level if you're an Arcane Trickster. And that, you add those together, depending on what you are, it gives you your total. The example is if you are a level 3 wizard and a level 4 ranger, you are a level 5 spellcaster, and then you would look at the table on the following page. And it's
would have 4 first level, 3 second level, and 2 third level.
And then depending on what your intelligence is, you would be able to prepare that many wizard spells. And then based on your prepare modifier for your ranger spells, I think you just know those ones.
Yeah.
Here lies the thing, though. When it comes to those, you're a third level wizard, so you have, I think, 1 second level spell slot. No, you don't. You don't have any second level spells. So you don't know any second level spells, but you have, I think you have second level spell slots as you're a ranger. Something ridiculous. So you can only... It's so convoluted, but it makes a little bit more sense when you break it down to the warlock. Because the warlock works independently on whatever level spellcaster you are. So if you are a bard and you make a deal with the devil, you can get pact magic. That is your charisma modifier. Bards are charisma modifier. You cast from the same table. How it works is you have all your bard spells and you have all your warlock spells. You can cross on those lists. So if you're a high-level warlock, you can cast low-level bard spells at the warlock spell level, but you only have 2 of those slots or 3 of those slots, depending on what level warlock you are, and vice versa. It's basically to use to boost low-level spells. So if you're a low-level wizard, but you're a high-level paladin who's kind of smart, you can cast Magic Missile at a higher level and do some pretty gnarly damage because you don't have to roll to hit that, if I remember correctly. It's weird. But you would use your... Yeah, Magic Missile is just ridiculous because you don't add anything. It's just +1. 1d4 +1 3 times for the first level, and then it just adds a d4 +1. Spellcasting as multiclassing is hard. Once again, as I've said, think the previous time, if you have a very firm grasp on spells, read it. If you want to do it, cool. You're going to make a lot of work for yourself. I know Umlaut had a Bard Sorcerer combination, which was very interesting, and he thought that he would lose his diamond every time he cast Chromatic Orb, until I enlightened him yesterday that if the gold is not consumed, Sork Bard, thank you, if the cost is not consumed, you still have it. So you just spin the diamond in your hand and it doesn't break. You just still have a diamond. Typically, the only things that break are diamonds when you're bringing someone back to life. That's why I identify as broken. I have nothing more to talk about. That is my vocab. I'm exhausted. I'm going to have something to drink. Thundercat, what vocab did you bring today from that beard shinary?
So I wanted to talk about like experience and milestone. I know it's not a DM's week, but it's good for players to know this stuff. There's a few different ways that your DM can let you level up to get to this point to multiclass, and for that to happen, you gather experience, and the experience you get is normally through combat or different encounters that your DM has given. So what you can guess is like at the beginning stages, it's gonna go a little quicker because things are harder to beat. so you're going to get more experience at low levels, and you'll level up quicker at low levels. And then around I think it's like around 7th or 8th level, it starts to like really start to, you can tell that like you need to do, it chugs, you need to like really get into those big fights to get your experience. So a lot of people will just go and try to like take on everything as a party, and that's one way you can go for about it. But I think milestone is probably the best way to go, because then it doesn't make your party, your players, want to just go fight everything. It kind of makes more story and more role play happen. They're not thinking about experience and leveling up because they don't know when it's going to happen. So with milestone, well, obviously, let's talk about gaining experience. Your experience is each enemy has a specific amount of experience that you get for killing them, and your DM would add that up after a combat and then divide it between the amount of people in the party. That's normally how you would gain experience in D&D 5e. Wow, crazy, right? It's like
I've never done it.
No?
Nope.
But that's basically how it works. And then obviously, like roleplay things, you can give experience for extra. If you go and look in some of the books, I think the which one is it? The Princes of the Apocalypse books, they show you the different experience points you can give for if you like save the people of the farm, or depending on how many of each farmer survives, you get a specific amount of XP added on. How much XP for the shopkeeper? The phrase that keeps me away from experience leveling. Yeah, it makes sense. So that's the thing, is like you can get experience for killing people, apparently, because that's what you can do in video games. Like, but the game is not. It's not about video games. It's about playing and storytelling as a group. So milestone is the way to go in my head as well. It's I like to give XP still to keep my players like, oh sweet, I got XP for tonight, but it doesn't mean it's like whose line is it anyway? Here the points don't matter. So just like. I like milestone as well. After a big encounter, I'll say, you know what, you guys like worked your asses off to get here, and then you finish the encounter. Like, guess what? Level up time. And then further down the road, you're gonna have to get into more and more like encounters and big fights to get the next level. But you understand that because that's how the experience works in the regular book. Basically, so, or in a video game, it's harder and harder as the game goes on. So that was my vocab. I don't know if you have anything you want to talk about with the milestones and XP.
Yes, I do. As I said in our chat, #XP is not gold. Typically, if I'm running milestone, if I don't feel like giving them anything, it's my little dirty DM trip. I'll give them XP. Just be like, oh, they didn't really have anything, but you guys got like 300, blah, blah, blah. Enough to not, like, to get like halfway. And it makes your players be like, oh, all right, so maybe we're doing the right thing. Maybe we should keep following down this route because you've gotten treasure, but you've never gotten XP. I haven't said anything about leveling up. And now, once you've done something that I like, the part of my story that I've written, that we've kind of collaborated on, this is me showing you subtly, kind of not really subtly, this is the route I want to go. But eventually, even if you go in a different direction, I'll level you up. But I'm going to throw something weird at you just to keep you on your toes.
I agree with that.
That's DMing in a nutshell for me.
I agree with that. Let's see. Anything else you want to go over with multiclassing?
As I said again, if you're going to multiclass into a couple spellcasters, know your spells. Know your spells, know what they do at higher levels, because if they don't do anything at higher levels, what's the goddamn point? No, I don't. Hang on. I don't have the ability. Damn it.
Got him.
Thundercat got. We don't need to become famous. Look at my hair, it's purple.
We're getting there. It matches your headset.
Yeah, purposely why I did it. Yeah, see, you got the green on the outside right there. Styling and profiling. Woo, baby.
Does anyone have any questions in the chat about anything? I
like
just want to
thoughts
make
on multiclassing?
Yeah. I like some of it. If it works thematically in the story, why not? Go for it. If you get to train with, if you meet someone that is a different class and you might have a chance to train with them and get a level in a different class, that'd be cool. Like, think about that. That's stuff. That's the stuff I like in game. And that's why I would allow most multi-class. Sometimes I'll stunt the multi-class and try to be like, maybe in a couple levels, because I had something for you before you used to go in multi-class.
What was this?
I don't want to talk about it.
All right, fair enough.
Rule of cool. Yes.
No.
No?
Nope. It's in the book. It doesn't make sense to me if, let's say,
yeah. You're right.
That's my thought. No, I mean, you're the DM. So if you want to rule that way, you can rule that way.
No, you're right.
If you have like a wizard who wants to be a fighter and he has like an 8 strength, he can't even hold the sword.
Right.
1, 2, buy the extra books and become the wizard intelligence smashy elven thingy. I don't remember the name of it because I don't have the book. That's my thing.
Oh.
like it makes sense on some things if they're real close. Like if they're at a 12, maybe I'll push it. Yeah, Blade Singer. That's the one. There's also
I think
War Mage. Boom.
I think you need to keep the book mechanics, because the balancing issues that happens when you start multi-classing, like you said, with like I can't even hold a sword, can't like you're I want to be a barbarian, well your con is 10, you're gonna get destroyed. Like,
granted, you're gonna take half damage, but you're still like squishy. Like,
yeah.
Oh, I want to be a barbarian wizard, or like it's build the stats around it. If you want to dump a couple ability scores to get that 16, 17 con, perfectly fine with me. You need to do it after you get those, though.
Right. I agree. But that's still book. That's at least you're sticking to the mechanics of the book, because
right.
The issue with unbalancing with that kind of stuff is going to really help keep you with the combat and
yes.
with your party. You're going to have some sort of balanced issues.
Because I'll say, multi-class characters can be broken. They can outshine other characters. But if you have a clever player, we'll get to this probably after the break when we talk about our past experiences, because I could talk about it for days. There are sometimes reasons where like people like me do it to get just a healing spell to take a little bit of a burden off of somebody else. They can use their bonus action to spiritual weapon. They can use their bonus action to hex. They can do other things and free them up. The reasons that you are multiclassing should not be about you. Ultimately, should be about the party's gain. You don't have a wizard in your party? Cool. I'm a bard. I can take a couple levels into warlock because it's already my charisma ability, and I don't have to worry about the silly, stupid spellcasting rules. And then I can see he gets it. He knows what's up. It's exactly why he was. And you had Jack of all trades, or I don't remember. But then you can do a little bit more damage while somebody else is healing. Like the paladin can heal this person while he's down, and you can continue smacking somebody, or vice versa. It's all about party cohesion at the end, and everybody should have fun. It's D&D. It's not Risk.
Yeah, it's a game with your friends.
Exactly. Well, Risk is the game with your friends, and after the game of Risk, it's
that's
5
not
o'clock in the morning.
Not that. It's not supposed to be that kind of game with your friends.
Fair enough.
It's a game with your friends that you're going to come back and play next week, and the week after, and the week after that. And if you're out there to play for yourself, it's going to be rough on your friends, and your friends aren't going to like it. So, all right, let's take a quick break. We'll be back in 6 minutes. I think it is 6 minutes 20 seconds or so. After these,
wait. It's just 6 minutes and 20 seconds or so. I mean, that sounds a little precise.
I don't remember if it's 6 minutes or 6 minutes,
6 minutes
and
24 seconds. That's where we'll be back. 6 minutes, 24 seconds, and 0.3 milliseconds.
Somewhere around there. I hate my Risk friends. Literally, only talk to play Risk.
Damn right. Hey, you want to play Risk? Not really. All right, I'll see you until 5 o'clock in the morning. You piece of shit.
All right, we'll be back after these messages from Dysfunctional Gaming. And we're back.
Hello. Oh, that's a nasty one. It didn't make any noise. I'm good. I just had a burp and it was inside. Oh, I can smell it in my nose.
Monopoly won the poll.
Of course it did. DD said it right, because Risk is not marketed as a family game. If you play Monopoly with your friends or your family, you're going to hate them in like 2 hours. Well, funny story. You should ask him about Brick from the Cobalt campaign.
Well, first off, I sound like Rick Sanchez because that's actually my character Joseph from Zombo Force from our YouTube channel. If you go to our YouTube channel, DD, you want to put the YouTube channel in? If you go to the YouTube channel, you can watch Zombo Force, and that's Joseph.
But first of all, that voice is Brick.
Is Brick, yes.
It's before Joseph.
Joseph.
Yeah.
Everyone says it wrong. I love it. It's so good. It makes me so happy.
It was Brick from the Cobalt Union, and there was also Vandal, who was Mortar.
Yeah, Brick and Mortar.
Oh, gee. And then there was Ridiculous. Me. Didn't do nothing. We're back. We're talking about backstory stuff, right? Like, what have we done in multiclassing?
Yeah, what we did with our multiclassing in our backstories.
I want to hear about when you got shut down.
When I got shut down?
Yeah.
You mean as Tacton?
Yep.
Well, let's see. So that's basically the only one that I ever multiclassed with. So I made a cleric warforged, but he was like a helper. He was like a helper warforged. He only wanted to clean and make sure that everyone was like taken care of. If you needed something, he would go grab like towels or blankets if you were cold. Like he was a nanny bot, basically. And so the cleric spells I took were like anything like mending and like buff spells and like heals to make sure that everyone was always in tip-top shape. And so I was a cleric for a while, and then my friend Zap decided to tinker with my information, my warforged magics, and found out that my soul was trapped inside of the warforged, and they had turned the warforged into a nanny bot to for what's the word, correctional justice, because I was a bad boy. I was a bad person, and I was not good. So they put me inside of a warforged as punishment.
You were doing community service as a warforged.
Yeah. They gave me a punishment of becoming a warforged. So once Zap messed with my intricacies and made me malfunction, basically, it turned me back. It gave me the soul to the warforged. And so Jeff became the next point of me. And Jeff was an asshole and a rogue. So Jeff got to learn in multiclass. He multiclassed into rogue, and I was a cleric rogue.
So you're a cat.
Yep. So he was kind of a dink. So he didn't care for helping people. So all those buff spells that he would use were not there anymore, and they were all like inflict wounds and like all those kinds of cleric spells, like the ones that like would hurt people. So yeah,
you know the ones that most clerics don't use, but all the ones use in our game.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that was my only really multi-class. Well, eventually I turned into a shadow dragon because that's what Griff wanted to have us do. And so I was a cleric rogue that had shadow dragon that I could transform into a shadow dragon once a day.
I had so many cantrips as they fought. Holy crap! I'm counting them. I think I had like 12, and I was only level 8.
Yeah, that game was broken.
It was awesome. It was one of the most fun games.
Sometimes the broken game is a fun game, but just let your DM, GM, whatever you want to call them, let them just take control sometimes and be like, yes, okay, yeah, fine. If you want to do that, we're going to go crazy.
Yep. You want to be the Hulk? Let's do it.
Yes. So that would be my past experiences as a multi-class.
Yes. Okay. Me now. Me, great multi-classer.
I mean, we could just go on to the next.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's not.
Thing.
No. Barondir started off because I wanted to punch things as a spider, and it seemed kind of fun because I could bonus action turn into a spider, and then I could on my next turn punch something, and then bonus action flurry of blows it, and it just seemed very cartoony, and I like to describe how I hit things because it's fun. The moment when people were running away and I'm just was so funny.
I always think of the spider from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, MC Poo Pants or MCP Pants.
That's right.
I always think of him going
But how it worked out after Barondir died, he ended up being. He had 3rd level abilities amongst with no traditions, but I was like a level 18 druid. So it was kind of a little game breaking, but the big part is that little bit made it so my elementals could flurry of blows. And then when the cleric went down, the 7th level heal that I cast on her saved her butts. That was some of the most clutch spellcasting. Granted, I was a dragon and I bullshitted my way through it, but boom, it didn't cost anything. The fiance was a bardlock, which is a cool combination because that was my first experience as DMing for a multi-class character, and then I read it down and I was like, oh shit, you can use those high level spells for your lower level spells and vice versa. All right, that's kind of cool. What else can you do? And then I delved into it more, and I started coming up with all the combos, all the stats. I'm pretty sure we played the turtle game but most of the turtles had base monk stats, and then they had a little bit of wizardy things on it. Yeah,
No, I remember that. I was a fighter.
I was the only one who was straight monk. I had monk bard. I was
fighter monk.
It was so much fun. It's just when you do it. Legitimately, the book, the way it does it, you lose the things on the back end. So if I was going to be a high-level monk, I wouldn't get the high-level things like Timeless Body or those type of things. And I was like, yeah, I can live with that. I'm immune to poison and disease. Oof. Sure. What do I get from Druid? Oh, I can turn into a CR1 bear, and I can bite and then whap, and then bite it again. Yeah, let's do that. And my unarmed attacks counted as magical damage. However, since I'm a stickler DM, I was going to do it for myself. I needed to get to the level 6 druid and the level 6 monk to have, no matter what, you can't say, no, my attacks aren't magical. Because at level 6, when you hit that druid ability, when you're a bear or spider or whatever,
you get those are magical attacks.
And then as a monk,
you
become the Iron Fist, and my hand glows, and it's magic. I like multiclassing a lot. I'm very familiar with my spells. I've never double dipped like Wizard Bard, Wizard Cleric. I really wanted to play. Oh, we got a raid. Hey, everybody from Crunchy Stream.
Oh,
Party of
Crunchy,
five.
Embryo.
Hey.
I can play a sound effect.
Let's do it. What are we gonna play?
It's gonna be
off to the side so no one can see it.
It's gonna be this one.
Hank Mardukas.
Hank Mardukas!
Well, thank you very much for the raid. Here's a big kiss for you. Mwah.
Thanks for the
I
raid, Crunchy. You were talking about multiclassing.
Yes. But I've always come up with crazy combos. I like multiclassing. The current Warlock, Panda Bear, Sorlockadin. Yeah. Or Paladin Monk would be kind of cool. Granted, it's not a double dip in casting, but then you're literally the Iron Fist.
I mean, we had Knocker play a Paladin fighter.
Yeah. Well, it's 2 classes that can cast spells that are like a druid wizard.
Right.
But the current game on my Mondays with the UK group, I'm a warlock, and actually my stats are right here. I think they're Carlin's stats. I could become a wizard. Looking at my stats, I could certainly take a level in wizard. Granted, I'm only level 4, and I just bumped my charisma. Level 5, I get another Eldritch Invocation, so I don't want to lose out on that. Level 6 on the Warlock side, I get my 6th level ability for being a Great Old One Warlock. 7 might be where I split it, where I take the dip, if I'm to take it. But to be honest, I'm a little wizard as it is. I could probably just switch up my invocations and be able to read everything I can see or talk to animals at will. Because I'm a little Swiss Army knife. If anything, I might dip into Bard so I can have Jack of all trades. Because that dipping into Bard, if you're a charisma character, just to get Jack of all trades and get half of your proficiency bonus on every skill you're not proficient in, is clutch. But that's what I have to say on my past and present multiclassing. 2, I forgot. I have plans for 2. I don't think I don't know if I'm gonna live them out to see it or so a rogue bard would basically be like a punk. Exactly. You could even use your cantrip for dancing lights to make like a little light show or like have fog roll in. I put a lot of thought into being a rock star as a bard and then just having something else so I can stab dudes like on my own bodyguard. Kador never multiclassed. I just became the devil. I thought about
when
Ranger.
Do we start?
Soon.
I mean, soon. DD, we honestly could do this if there's something that we could do on Saturday night. Says that filler stream. That's something we could do.
Man, I used to play D&D on PlayStation and didn't even have cameras, so I'd have to trust people's dice rolls. I don't care as long as I can keep talking.
Yeah, well, I mean, and now we have cameras, so we could actually have it on the stream.
We have bots you can just type in roll.
Yeah, I'd be interested.
What are we going on to next before I talk about more things?
Yeah, let's move on. We're going to level up Carlin, I guess.
I miss D&D 2, Crunchy.
Creation Zone?
Creation Zone. We're going to level up Carlin. We're going to go to what level? You want to go to 5? Go 5.
Okay.
Fuck it. Let's do it.
All right.
We're level 1?
Yep.
We're just going to do base HP. So, level 2, you
Hold on, let me get to the character sheet, see if it works.
Yep. Let's see. All right, you do that. I'm going to read. Oh, well. But here's the table for your warlock. You probably can't see it, and I probably can't show it, so there you go.
We have darkness back to live. There we go.
So at your second level, you would level up. You would gain a spell that you would know, so you'd pick a new spell. You'd have a new spell slot. So you'd mark a little spot on your paper. But you'd get something called Eldritch Invocations. Those, when we talk about warlocks, I will talk about in depth. However, to speak on it lightly, they alter the way your magic works. So when you first get them, typically you want something that will boost your Eldritch Blast, because that is Warlocks 101. So you could take, typically the one that most people do is Agonizing Blast. So you add your Charisma modifier on the back end of it. Perfect. Or you could give it a range of 300 feet with Eldritch Spear. Or you can make it do a repelling blast and give it. You can push somebody 10 feet away from you, and that's all with no level requisites.
I need to go get a drink.
I'm gonna keep talking as I hydrate. Certain ones require you to have certain packed features, which we'll cover in the next section. But at this, I would probably take Agonizing Blast just to be offensive. And then there's one that I kind of want to switch out for my other character, Eyes of the Runekeeper, which allows you to read all writing. You go into a library, you can read every book. You don't have to worry about what it's written in when your DM asks, what can you speak? And I go, what is it written in? And he goes, this. And I go, I can read everything. But
I can't read that, but now I can.
Exactly. I have comprehend languages, so now I can do that for an hour. But being able to read everything is perfect. At your third level, you would get your Pact Boon. Going from the base PHB, there's only 3 to pick from. There's the Pack of the Chain, where you can have a little familiar that you can control. I really haven't seen a lot of those to play. Pact of the Blade, which is most of your warlocks like to have an offensive weapon, and then at level 3 you have a magic weapon that you can overcomes resistances and immunities. The one that will probably end up taking for Carlin is going to be Pact of the Tome, because you get a grimoire from your patron, and since you're leveling up, you can then switch it out for another Eldritch Invocation, which is called, I have it, Book of Ancient Secrets. You gain the ability to inscribe magical rituals into your book, so you're a little wizard who can only cast rituals, which, if they don't consume anything, you don't have to worry about material costs.
That's amazing.
You get 2 first level
That's really
rituals.
cool.
It's pretty handy. But 4th level, doesn't matter what class you're playing, I can close my book for this one. You get ability scores. You get 2 to 1 stat or 1 to 2 stats. I typically, at low level, want to be offensive, or since I'm a warlock, I'm a chatty Cathy. Goes getting dumped right into charisma. No questions about it. It's going up 2, or you can pick a feat. Talk to your DM about feats. Feats can break the game. Doesn't matter what little feat it is. You can certainly break a game with alert. Moving on to level 5. At level 5, I believe you get another Eldritch Invocation. So you can add one, and there are level requisite ones.
And another spell.
And you know another spell. Your spell slots go up to level 3. And then at this point, you would have 6 spells.
6 known spells, 2 spell slots.
But at level 5, you don't really get anything for your features, which is not as cool. Most attackers usually get your extra attack at this level. I'm pretty sure not a lot of characters get anything at 5th, except if you have the extra attack. Or druids with the rounding of the levels. Think it starts to get a little bit better there. I don't really remember. I've played so many things. It's all numbers now to me. But at 5th level, there are a couple of different Eldritch Invocations that are pretty cool. Like Sign of Ill Omen. You can cast Bestow Curse using a Warlock spell slot. You can't do so unless you finish the long rest. Or, what's another 5th level? Mire the Mind. You can cast Slow using a spell slot. Doesn't count as prepared. You can just do it.
So you need... that's cool. That you need those prerequisites depending on which... Well, I was looking at Mask of Many Faces, and I know that one's a fun one.
That one's a very fun one. Honestly, since she's a gnome, you could also look at one with the shadows, which is... when you're in an area of dim light or darkness, you can use your action to become invisible until you move or take an action or reaction.
And she is kind of the type that we talked about, like hiding in the background and like.
TSO with a Smoocher's Burger. I'm sorry to talk over you, Thundercat. Continue.
Smooch Burger back at you.
Yeah, that's amazing, Smooch Burger.
So yeah, she was the kind of like hiding in like behind the window type deal.
And there are so many more of these that are in newer books in different releases. This is just a small taste of what you have. But yeah, at 5th level, I would probably take that being her and how the story might turn out. That might be a very good get out of Dodge option, just in case these people are bringing down too much heat. At this point, your proficiency bonus goes up to +3. So everything that you're proficient in, like your charisma saving throw, goes up by 1 because of your proficiency bonus. It would also go up another +1 depending on where you are in your stat wise. I'm pretty sure if I went from 16 to 18, it would go up to +4.
Yep.
I don't know. That's where her stats are.
Her stats.
I'm guessing they would go up to 2.
It would be at 17.
17. So it would go from 15 to 17. That's so it would go up.
It'd go up 1, yeah.
Okay, so it would go up 1 at 4th level, and then another 1 at 5th, because your proficiency bonus goes up.
Yeah.
Your attacks would also go up. Your attack rolling to a hit would also go up twice, 4th and 5th. Your DC would also go up at 5th level because your proficiency bonus went up, and then it depends on where. Yeah, it would go up.
It would.
8 proficiency. Yep, go up twice, 4th and 5th. Here it is in a nutshell. Rolling for HP. It is risk reward. You are level 5. Don't touch the dice as much as you want to until you pass this level. You want that nice little beefiness because it's half of the hit die plus your constitution modifier. Unless you're a barbarian with a lot of con or a character with a lot of con, don't roll it. Wait until you're level 6 and then roll it. Unless you have a nice DM who says, you can roll it, or you can take the average. Because then, that DM's just nice. It's the average. I'm sorry, Vandal. Which is usually the one above half. Exactly. So if it's a D8, it's 5. Round up. So 4.5. Yeah.
So, I was looking at Armor of Shadows. That'd be a good one.
The one where you can cast
Mage Armor. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I gave her Eyes of the... Yeah, you could do that. That actually might help as well. We could do that one instead. Either or.
Yeah. We're messing around with it.
But the good thing is about the Eldritch Invocations is when you level, you can swap another one out for something else. So let's say that Bestow Curse hasn't fucking worked at all.
And
you know what? I just want to... and I'm a panda bear that wants to talk to animals because I don't talk to animals, so I can now speak to animals at will. Just wait for that to happen, Umlau. You're never going to live it down. What are these birds talking about? Okay, now I murder them.
So, cool. We leveled up Carlin, basically. That was pretty easy.
It's really easy. It's a lot easier when you have a paper in front of you and when the rest of the party is leveling up and you're at a table. If you have certain apps or D&D Beyond, it makes it a lot easier. As I always say, though, you should certainly start on pencil and paper before you start going on an app. Go to the basics, have a pencil and paper, have some dice. Virtual dice, yes, it's a random number generator just like a dice, but it doesn't make the clickety-clackety. And then you don't have that delicious need for more dice as I rattle my D&D character's dice that I haven't touched in months.
Clickety-clackety, roll for a tackety.
That's the new phrase I taught him.
So, because of that, we have to kind of level up our other characters kind of quickly. We have the Sorcerer's Interim member named Quintilian Sumner.
Okay, so level 2 for Sorcerers is stuff that I don't know because I've never played a Sorcerer.
That's why I'm
sorry.
Level 2 is Font of Magic.
That's when you get the meta magic, right?
Meta magic is level 3.
Ah.
Quantum magic is you tap into a deep wellspring of magic within yourself. You get your sorcery points.
Okay.
That's what you do. You get your sorcery points. And you learn flexible casting. Then you get your meta magic at level 3. Your spell slots go from first to second, and you get 4 spells known. And you get a third sorcery point.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hi, Peach Fart.
And then 4th level, hi Peach. Then 4th level, you get your ability score improvement, which we just talked about. But you also get a 3rd level spell, and you know another spell. And your cantrips go up. Your cantrips go up to 5. Fireball will come on 5th level. When we get to 5th level, you don't get any features, but you also get another sorcery point. Your proficiency bonus goes up. Your cantrips are at 5. You know 6 spells, but you can now cast. You have 2 spell slots for 3rd level, which is where you get your fireball and lightning bolts.
Or your Leomund's tiny hut, if you're that type of wizard. Because that's... I'm already pre-planning my spells if my little tiny red panda bear gets to level 5, and I'm like, I'm going to take that one. I need to find that because I can't learn it on my own, but I'm going to write it in my book because then I'm going to have my own little panda bear hut. And no one else is coming in. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a quick level up of our friend Quintillion. We have our barbarian.
All right, I'll take this one.
Oh, come on. I played a barbarian too.
All right, so we're going to go level 2. We get unarmored defense.
Oh, do we?
I don't remember. Level 2 was so long ago.
I know, right? I played a barbarian so long ago. I feel like I haven't played D&D in forever. Here it is. Level 2. No, you get your unarmored defense at 1st level, bub.
So you get your rage at level 2.
You get rage at level 1 as well. You get your reckless attack and your danger sense at level 2.
So advantage on dexterity checks that you can see, and once every time you can say reckless, and then get yourself advantage.
But
level
also
3,
get advantage against you. Level 3 is you get your path.
We're gonna go path. She's a dwarf.
She's a dwarf, and she's a mercenary dwarf though. Path
of the berserker. Keep it simple.
Yep. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yep.
Okay.
What's the special one from that one?
She gets frenzy.
Ah, frenzied rage.
So with frenzied rage, you get at 3rd level, you get your primal path. You get a frenzy, so you can attack again, but you have to use it the turn before. You have to say it the turn before to use it. It's weird. It's like you have to starting when you choose this path at 3rd level. You can go into a frenzy when you rage. If you do so for the duration of your rage, you can make a single melee weapon attack as a bonus action on each of your turns. When your rage ends, you suffer 1, but you have to say, I'm going into a frenzied rage.
Frenzied rage!
And then all your attacks are crazy extra attack.
Enjoy your pool night, A-Train. Thank you very much for the lurk.
Thanks, A-Train. And then you get your extra attack, but then you're exhausted for the next day.
Whatever. I get to bonus action smack things, so I get 2 smacks. Yeah, fuck yeah,
I'm doing that. At 3rd level, 2 smacks, and then at 5th level, you get an extra attack. But at 4th level, you get your ability score improvement. Your rages are still +2. You still get 3 rages. But the ability score improvement is what?
That's the question. Is it going to go con, or are we going to go strength? What's the strength right now? I don't even have the stats. Let's go con.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, boom.
So you would get an extra...
2 in your con.
Extra HP.
Yep. You get an extra 4 HP because
for each level. Yep.
That's where it gets weird when you do your constitution.
And then at 5th level, you get your extra attack and your fast movement.
Get an extra 10 feet when you're not wearing armor. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And your extra attack. So then if you go into a frenzied rage, you have 2 attacks. You have your attack, you have your extra attack, and then you have your bonus action attack.
Yep. 3 smackies. Ah.
But you have to remember to use your bonus action to play the turn before to say that you're doing a frenzied rage. Otherwise, you only get the 2 attacks. Believe me, I know. It took me a while to figure it out.
Paladin time.
Paladin. Oh, paladins are fun.
This is all you. Level 2, you get
Paladin.
spellcasting.
So yeah, you get your fighting style, and you get your divine smite and spellcasting. You get 2 first-level spell slots. 3rd level, you get divine health and sacred oath. You have a third first-level slot. 4th level, you get your ability score increase, and then 5th level, you get your extra attack. And then, but at 5th level, you get 2 second-level spell slots, so you can start
double the smites at 2nd level. Yeah,
and you have a fourth first-level spell slot. Your divine health is your pool. Nope, that's your lay on hands. Your divine health is the other one. You can't be poisoned, I believe.
Poisoned. I can look it up, but unless you have it already.
Getting to it. Where are you? Lay on hand, spell casting, divine smite.
Well, I just gave me a bunch of doctors, so let's go to 5th E. There we go. Divine health. You make me want to buy the book. You son of a bitch.
Oh, 3rd level, divine magic throws through you, making you immune to disease.
Yep.
Immune to disease, not poison.
That's handy.
Yeah, you get your divine smite, which means you can use your spell slots to add extra damage dice. Up to a max of 5d8. And then your sacred oath is when you pick your oath of devotion, oath of ancients, oath of vengeance. This one seems more of a vengeance.
Yep.
Than anything else. Or it'd be a devotion. Because he's an Order of the Gauntlet.
Let's go devotion then. I've never Oath of Glory. Which one's that one from there, Umlau? I think that is one of the newer ones.
Pretty sweet to make your paladin mobile, especially if you're not into a not dex build looking for more mobile. Oath of Devotion, you get your honesty, don't lie or cheat. Yeah, this is perfect. 3rd level spells, your paladin level, 3rd level, you get protection from evil and good and sanctuary. At 5th level, you get lesser restoration and zone of truth.
Nice.
Sacred weapon. As an action, you can imbue one weapon with that you are holding with positive energy using your channel divinity. For 1 minute, you add your charisma modifier to attack rolls made with that weapon, with a minimum bonus of +1. The weapon also emits a bright light in a 20-foot radius and a dim light 20 feet beyond that. If the weapon is not already magical, it becomes magical for the duration.
That's not bad.
And then you got Turn the Unholy. As an action, you present your holy symbol and speak a prayer, censuring your fiends and undead. Each fiend and undead that you can see within 30 feet of you must make a wisdom saving throw. If the creature fails its saving throw, it is turned for 1 minute or until it takes damage.
It's a get out of dodge type of thing. Or later, you don't explode.
It's basically, it's channel divinity, basically. It's just a turn.
Yep. And then 4th level ability score, so it would probably go into strength, not his charisma, since it just gives you a minimum of 1. And then 5th level, you would get your extra attack, and then
your other spells. The zone of...
Yep.
That's it.
And then the wizard, let's say he goes up a level to level 6, he get his cool little wizard thing and a new spell. That's it. Because he's on the grind.
Yes.
He would get his extra 4 from his hit die, because that's half of a d6.
Yep.
And he has no con bonus.
Yeah, no con. Yeah, he gets his arcane tradition.
No con bonus? Which one was your basketball nickname? No con bonus or
Vanilla Devotion?
Vanilla Devotion. I like it. What school is Throckmorton? Throckmorton is a divination wizard.
I played the Oath of the Ancients, and it was hilarious.
It was the best move for you to make in that game. It was perfect for Tomb of Annihilation.
I tried to set myself up so I had reasons for everything that was going on, why I was there and all that stuff. I always try to make my backstory fit the storyline as much as I can. Vanilla Devotion is definitely making its way into my game for a character name.
Umlau, look at me right now. I know you're watching. You know that you're gonna say that name, and I'm gonna go, okay, see you, Bill, or see, bye, because that's the running thing. Because all humans look alike to me, so they're all named Bill.
Oh gosh.
Yep.
All right. I think that's our creation zone. That's all of our players. We had Jurgen Goblinbane, we had Quintilian Sumner, we had Quan Chow, we had Throckmorton
Dingleberry.
So now that they've had their downtime, they're leveled up, we can get back to the encounters and the campaign with our party.
But little do they know that something is watching, lurking in the shadows, always watching their every movement. What are we talking about next week?
Next week, how about we talk about the BBEG? Because
I'm sorry, you said some letters there. What does that mean?
The big bad endgame guy.
Oh, Thanos. Gotcha.
Yeah. We're doing a DM week. Let's talk about the big bads. Let's talk about making that character that is gonna try to destroy all of Carlin's dreams.
I like it. Let's do that.
Cool.
Who doesn't love? I love. Yes.
That's what we're doing next week. Tuesday night at 6:30. We try to start the stream around 6:30 and get into it by 6:45, 6:50. So try to get in there when you can. You don't want to miss a thing because we're talking about the big bads.
You get to insight into villains into this guy's minds. Look at this mustache. Look at the villain that I could create with this thing. I look like a villain. Give me a monocle and a top hat. I could be a super villain. And the wealth. Just give me the wealth. I don't want the monocle or the top hat. Just give me the money. And we'll say I'm a super villain.
Let's talk about some outro plugs here. What do we got to plug for this week?
Well, first off, there's Friday.
Okay, what's that?
My birthday. First off and foremost. But more importantly, we're hosting a podcast. I host a podcast. Stay on brand. We're talking about music. You listen to music. I listen to music. You watch musicals. Who doesn't love Disney movies? Those are musicals. We'll be talking. I know DD's talking festival food, so I'm kind of curious to see what a festival is for D&D. For DD.
I know what a D&D festival would be.
Yeah, LARPing. That's a whole different episode.
They have those festivals already. Medieval festivals. They got them already.
Sounds fair. But no, 9:00 Friday night. Come wish me a happy birthday, and then listen to us talk about musicals. This channel, 9:00. March 12th, here, Dysfunctional Gaming TTV on Twitch. Do it. Yes. You won't.
Or you could go to our Anchor and catch it later because we'll put it on that too. It's on
Anchor
Spotify.
FM, Spotify, podcasts.
Apple Podcasts, yeah. Wherever you can find your podcast, we're probably there. So, what else do we got? Let's see. Saturday, I don't think we have anything planned. Oh, yes, we do. We have a release of Zombo Force. What?
Zombo. Sorry, that was my
If you are in the chat, there's a link there for our YouTube. If you want to catch up to episode 5, I think we have. We got 6 coming out on Saturday. This one's going to be kind of an interesting one. We're moving on some plot finally, and we should be having some fun. It's going to be pretty silly, as normal with the other ones. And you get to hear me be kind of like Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty. Or Brick from Brick and Mortar. Oh. Or Joseph. So yeah, we got that Saturday. And then next Tuesday we got our BBEG DM week. Brick from Anchorman. No, it's not Brick from Anchorman.
No.
Do you want to plug anything that you're doing?
What am I doing? You should go to my TikTok at GMPassNasty. I make food. I take videos of food. You should look at it.
I like it.
That's what yeah.
That's it. Okay.
That's why or follow me on Twitter at GMPatchNasty. Pretty much look on a social media and type in GM Patch Nasty. I'm probably there.
Same here. If you go to my Twitter, you can follow all the stuff that I'm doing. I put all my stuff on Twitter. My name is Thundercat0420. You can go to our Discord as well, which is also in the chat. Come join us. We always post what we're doing in there. And you can see when we go live on Twitch from there too. So if you want to see where we're at, check out our Twitters. That's where you'll find most of our content, where we push out and let you know our schedules. So there you go.
You want many more DGTTV emotes? Me too, TSO. Tell all your friends about DGTTV. God damn it, DGTTV on Twitch, on Twitter, on Spotify, on podcasts, on Snapchat. DD
tell all
runs
your friends.
Snapchat now.
Tell all your friends.
Every single one of them.
Tell them to
this
come.
On it like a honnet. Ooh. So, it was a blast.
Yes. That was a good one.
That was fun. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I hope you guys are here on Friday to see Stay On Brand and wish me a happy birthday and listen to us talk about music and food and wrestling and music and sports and music.
Yes, me too.
Do you want me to click the raid now button and you want to wish people goodbye? I'm like,
I was gonna say goodbye too. Bye, smooches. Love you guys.
Bye, everybody. Smooches in a boop. Play more tabletop.
Boop boop.